Good morning. Good morning and welcome to the Stitch Circle. I am your host, YesMichelle Crochets. Of course, I am Michelle. I am so glad to have you guys here in the Stitch Circle. Of course, I didn't turn the volume down on my phone. Would it be me if I did everything correctly? Absolutely not. Nonetheless, welcome in. So glad to have each and every one of you here with us today. If you haven't already done so, do me a quick favor. Go ahead and hit like on this live because we're going to be here about 2 hours, I hope. And I am thrilled to have each and every one of you here. So, good morning to Erica. I am so glad you're here. And Erica, just so you know, you don't want to miss the video on Monday. Just saying. I know that you're listening. I do appreciate that. And hello to those of you who are in the background or the balcony, as it were, enjoying the ambiance. Forgive me. Coffee just got started, so I'm ingesting as we go. And if you have your beverage of choice, make sure you're staying hydrated as we get started. Today is one of those days where you ask yourself, do I have everything I need to have in place done? The answer most likely for me is no. But I have one young adult heading out the door in a little bit to head to work, and another one who is home for the day. So if you hear bumping and extra noises around, I apologize in advance. Family is home. It's summertime, and these are the kind of things that happen. Good morning, Julie. Doing breakfast, so you'll be listening. Excellent. And I'm glad to know you are not only hydrating, but you're actually nourishing yourself. That's very important to me. I have not yet eaten, but that's a very normal thing for me. I'm not a good eater. And let me see, I am turning off my notifications so that I can enjoy just us. I don't need the extra disturbances today. And going back to the chat. Good morning, Kim. And guys, if you see me looking down, I'm actually just looking at my phone so that I can stay up with the chat. One thing about this particular streaming platform is their notifications of the chat is a little bit slower than my phone is. So sometimes it's easier to watch what's being said on my phone. Struggling to open your eyes this morning. That was me. But that was because I struggled to close my eyes last night. Just saying. And oh my goodness, like I said, this morning was struggle bus central. I couldn't find anything I wanted. When I say anything, I mean like nothing. I couldn't find the book that I wanted. I barely found my clipboard with the questions of the day. And it's usually right here on my side. But for some reason, I think I thought I was smart setting it up last night, and I moved it to the other side, and I threw myself off. Then I remembered that maybe 5 minutes before we were due to start that I didn't have my coffee. I had not put together my water. So I have the elements of it, but it hasn't been put together. All of these things are things I try to get done before I sit down in this chair to begin our live stream. And yeah, that didn't happen today. So I am telling you in real time, the struggle bus is real and I am having it, but it is more than okay. And I can slow down and I can breathe because we're together. And that's what's most important to me. The other thing, and this is just being honest, I have the worst headache. Nothing serious, but I got a headache. So if we don't make it for 2 hours today, please understand that it literally is because I can't keep talking or I can't keep listening to my voice. I don't know which. Nonetheless, this is the kind of day where it's going to be warm in my area and bordering on hot. So it's a great day to be indoors and be thinking about the craft that we love, which is crochet. I want to think about some wonderful questions that I want to ask you guys. But the first thing, of course, I want to know is how are you guys doing today? How is your Saturday going? Hey, Cherry, welcome in. I am so glad you are here. And of course, good morning to you. This is going to be a fun day. This is going to be a fun day for two reasons. One, whenever things slow down for me a little bit, I am going to get to have a wonderful conversation with a friend of mine who I haven't talked to in a very long time. We've scheduled this chat because we live in different parts of the world. So this is an overseas conversation, and we might get to talk a couple of times a year, not very often. But I always look forward to those chats, and I get all the details of all the places they've been and all the things that they've done. So that excites me, and I'll probably share more about that tonight. But the other thing about tonight, oh, I'm sorry, Cherry said, me too, Kim, just getting up. Doggone it, if this thing does not want to do the most, forgive me, guys. It's trying to add an extra camera, and I do not want that. Sorry about that, guys. Like I said, it's a Saturday morning, and apparently even Restream is having a struggle bus day too. But we are here. I am looking at this to make sure that everything is coming back online. There we go. So, like I said, it's a day for everybody, and that's okay. That is just fine. I have found that at least once, if not twice, during a live stream for me, either I lose the internet connection and we glitch, or Restream does something on screen where all of a sudden I can't see anything and then it goes dark for you guys. But I appreciate you guys rocking with me and hanging out with me. I have to ask, and it's doing it again. I don't know what it's doing. That is crazy. Nonetheless, my question, and let me see if turning that off helps. My question is, how many of you are working on a project today? Now, I know a couple of you are just kind of waking up and are like, Michelle, don't ask us about a project. Don't ask us about our hooks. Maybe ask us if we've had some water. But for those of you who are already up and crocheting and working on a project, what project are you working on? What are you excited to get done today? What's your goal for today? And if you would, drop that in the chat. Oh, someone is making you coffee. I got lucky. I pre-made my coffee, so it was just a matter of pouring it into a cup that I could have around my yarn, because I have rules about this. Because I am not the neatest person when it comes to my coffee, I knock over my cup a couple of times a day. I have to make sure that I have a cup that has a lid and a straw. And yeah, you see lipstick on mine already because I've been drinking it. But like I said, I also have my water available, and that means reaching beyond you guys in order to assemble it. And I'll do that, but not right this second. I want to take a minute and just kind of slow down and bring myself into a center focus. This has been a busy, busy week. I was off from my daytime job yesterday, so that gave me the time to foam the video that we will have for Monday, which is why I know that I want Erica to be sure to catch Monday's video. I am moving. Okay, setup. You guys don't know what my setup looks like, so let me give you a little mental visual. You're sitting on a stand, which is on the other side of my desk, and it sets you right in the middle of everything. Oh, I'm jealous. Kim said, I will be floating by the pool today, so we'll be crocheting later. I love it. For me to go to the pool means going to our local park, and yeah, I'm not doing it. I'm not even gonna pretend I will. I won't. I want to though. And Julie said, working on Timber Trails blanket and Karen jumbo ombre yarn. Oh, I bet that is gorgeous. Which colorway? Which colorway? Because some of those colors are so vibrant and exciting that they just get me going. And speaking of Karen yarn, and I can't, when I tell you I try to organize my space so that I have working things happening around me. I have my Karen 1 pound right here because I have a project I need to start on that I haven't started on. Shame, shame. Hey, Nana Michelle, welcome in. Glad to have you here. And just so you know, for those of you who might be looking in the chat and wondering, where's Lady Elaine? When I spoke with her last, I knew she had a summit in one of the final states to join the United States. So not to give away her exact detail, but she was headed to that location Thursday, I think Thursday. So hopefully she'll be able to make it today, but if she doesn't, I know that the type of work that she does requires sometimes she's not available. And my heart is always with her. And I'm always a little envious because she gets to go to some amazing places. Ooh, blue and blue ombre. Yes, I love it. That blue ombre is gorgeous. Simply gorgeous. So please, if you get the opportunity, drop a picture of it in the community tab. I would dearly love to see it. And I'm hearing doors opening and closing around. Hopefully there's not a knock on my door, but if I suddenly mute, then that's what that's about. So, oh my gosh, that inspires me. I'm thinking of that blue ombre and thinking, wouldn't that be a cool poncho? Just think about it. And I mean something very basic and very simple. That would be fun. But I was saying I was looking for my book earlier, and I showed you the yarn I'm going to be using. Excuse me. This has been on my mind since I bought this book, this particular scarf. And of course, inside this book is another project that I'm doing. And I'm going to let you know, and we'll talk more about it tonight. But right now, I'm not loving the way this project is treating the hipster yarn. It's just not giving the way I want it to. The colorway isn't working for me. Gorgeous yarn. Love this yarn. Just not giving what I want. Don't know why. And Cherry is doing the Dune Breeze Wrap and Mercerized Cotton. Oh, yes. What color? What color? And are you only going to do one color or are you going to mix? Because I've seen it. I've seen that pattern and I'm telling you, woo, woo, it's so good. But guys, when I think about the fact that it's literally June, it's summer. When did this happen and who gave it permission? And I'm not opposed. Please understand, I do not like winter. I can tolerate fall. I love spring. And I'm okay with summer as long as it doesn't mess with my breathing or anything with my plans. But this is where my mental bandwidth is at its shortest. And if I were to say I had ADD, this is when it's at its worst. Oh. And Kim said, I did finish a cute top last night. Which one? You do a lot of really amazing tops and sweaters. Speaking of sweaters, where are we with the sweater thing? Just wondering. Cherry said, burgundy and green. That sounds gorgeous. I really want to see pictures of that. And which mercerized cotton are you using? Because there are a lot out there. And that's a funny thing in and of itself when you talk about mercerized cottons. There's the Lion Brand 24/7. I did not realize that I'm not that big a fan of the Lion Brand 24/7 DK. I like the 4-weight version because to me it feels more like a 3-weight. And I love, when I say I love, I mean I love the Karen All Day Cotton. This is so sweet. And I can pop one of these in a cosmetic bag with a pair of scissors, a hook, a darning needle, some stitch markers, and a pre-printed pattern, and make 2, maybe 3 washcloths out of just one of these. Talk about a project to go. Oh my goodness. She says, oh, Kim says, I have to be clear for those who are listening to the chat and not watching. LOL, my son told me I'm not allowed to start another project until I get his sweater done. I can imagine that he probably did say that. Children are so demanding. How rude. I say start another project in protest to what he said. But I am struggling because I need to start this scarf. I want to start this scarf. I am going to create this scarf in medium gray Karen 1-pound yarn. But I want something else, something more fun. Hey, welcome in. Good morning to you. And yes, love. How are you doing today? Silas, I think you know you're on my mind. You're on my mind. You've moved or in the process of moving. And I want to make sure you're doing good. So check in with me and let me know how you're doing, sweetie. Nonetheless, we need a trivia question. And before I even ask the first question, I am going to grab my pen because we have to check it off. Nonetheless, since today's question is from the grouping of creative mind and hobby life, do you keep a physical notebook of your ideas or do they just live in your head? Which one is true for you? Do you actually write a physical note, keep a notebook, a journal, or whatever? Or do you just kind of say, oh, I'd like to make X, and then you keep a rolling tally in your head? How does that work for you? I want to know. And Kim said, it's a top-down granny stitch top using Hobby Lobby colors I picked out for a poncho that I gave up. I'm absolutely understandable on that. Top down. See, I don't think, maybe I have done. I don't remember if I have done a top down granny stitch top. I've absolutely done other things like a poncho or other projects where it's something like, it's not it's kind of like a wrap or a cover up where it was top down. That was fine. I've done mostly build up on those. So just saying. Doing good this morning. Drinking a little coffee. Yes. Love it. Love it. Rolling tally in my head, which usually doesn't work out. See, I'm laughing because for me, I'm having the same challenge. I don't know if it's because I'm getting older or if because I have too many micro projects going on simultaneously. It may be the challenge of being a content creator, that you have so many elements that you want to make sure you're hitting all those bases simultaneously, and you end up overwhelmed and underwater. This is my story. But again, like I said, summertime is one of those spaces in my life where bandwidth is at a premium that I don't afford. That means projects get lost, projects get forgotten, projects get tossed in a cute project bag and then get ignored until infinity and beyond. But this is my goal. I'm a planner. I don't know why it does not occur to me to put that stuff in my book. When I decide I'm going to make whatever, pick the project, insert the name, da 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 da. I don't, or worse. And when I say I will be transparent with you to a fault, do I still have it? I probably don't. I probably went on and got rid of them. I used to have books, and I mean books of project planning. So I would write down the project, write down the hook size, the yarn I'm using, if I made any, alteration to the project, whatever, and then never look at it again. Never. So what I am trying to do is incorporate my projects into my everyday planner, because I need to do something different so that I stay on task and keep myself accountable to what my goal sets are for projects that I'm doing. There's one project I'm literally halfway through that I am going to have to frog down to the very beginning because I can't remember which hook I used. I know what brand hook I used, that I remember. Which size hook I used, because depending on the designer, sometimes depending on the yarn, sometimes I will switch the hook size for a said project to give me more positive ease in what I'm making and things like that. And yeah, this one, yeah, I don't know. So I get to frog it all over again and start all over. Blessing, it's a quick whip. Yes, write down your whips on the list and knock them off one by one. The problem is I keep adding to that list. I'm telling you, I have a severe and probably permanent case of start-itis. I will start a project in a heartbeat, and bless my beautiful children, they endure, because they will see 4 skeins of yarn piled up with a piece of paper on top and maybe a hook laying on top, and then go, oh, we can't touch that, because if we do, she won't know what it is. And like a bird, that if you touch their baby, they won't mess with it anymore. If you touch my project before I really know what I want that to look like, I'll have to frog and start all over because it won't make sense to me. It's weird, but I'm me, and this is who I am. Let's see. I do whatever project I feel like working on unless I have a deadline or something. Sada said, me too. I have startitis is my name. I'm telling you, I live that life. It is so chaotic and so crazy. And sometimes I look at the different piles of projects I have going on simultaneously and ask myself, do you get anything done? And the answer is I do. But for every 2 things I get done, there's probably 5 new projects that got started. It's insanity. And Sherry said, most people will not believe that I went over 5 years without crocheting before I got back into it. Now, that would be hard for me to believe because I've seen so many of the things that you've done, but I understand it. I absolutely understand it. I will say this, where I was when I first started crocheting, and I can't even believe I'm saying this. When I first started crocheting, after I had some instruction and boundaries on how to actually crochet and not just do whatever it was I was doing. We won't talk about it. It was my early onset. I started with a book, a hook, and a thought. And the book came after the thought. Nonetheless, once I started really understanding crochet, I would have one project. I'd finish it, wouldn't crochet for a month, 2 months, and then I'd pick up something else. But one, not 4, 5, 10 or more. I could not believe that the person who started crocheting has a stockpile in, I won't even tell you how many different places, and a storage unit. But every element, every space in my home, except for areas where there's a lot of water happening, has yarn. My closet, where my clothes are, has yarn. I have a bookcase that has yarn. I have cubes that have yarn. My library mini bookcase over here has yarn. On the side of the bookcase, there's yarn. In my bed, there's yarn. Yarn is everywhere. And the other day I was talking to my daughter, who's in a very, very different career field, was saying that one of her friends mentioned, all you talk about is your career. Insert her career. I'm not disclosing all of that right now. If she gives me permission later, we can talk about it. But beyond it, she is always talking about those elements and the things associated with that job. And she said, her friend said, this is what you talk about all the time. She said, as she's hearing that be said to her, she's thinking, I say this to my mother all the time because my mom is always talking about yarn. She's always talking about a project. She's always talking about this or that, or how this yarn company has tweaked their formula and their yarn feels different and the thread is thinner or it's thicker. Or my mom can go on incessantly about yarn, and I now realize I do this about my career. And I'm like, yeah, this is what we do. It's who we are. It's how we live. And Kim said, I have yarn tucked away in just about every room, LOL. I don't. The only two rooms that I guarantee you there are no spaces of yarn are my son's room and my daughter's room. Every other room has yarn in it somewhere except the kitchen, of course, and the bathrooms. The kitchen because there's no room. Just because I have a lot of kitchen gadgets. I love to cook. I do. And then I never cook lately. Or at least I'm on strike for it. So, are we ready for our next question? I hope so. So, have you ever taught someone else how to do your favorite hobby? And guys, I'm not just referencing crochet here. If you have another hobby, be it diamond art, maybe you knit, maybe you whatever, insert your hobby of choice here. Have you ever taught someone else how to do this hobby? I'd like to know that, because ironically, I do it virtually, but now that I have the Cozy Encyclopedia, I'm kind of teaching people one of my favorite hobbies. I will never teach anyone how to knit because I can barely make myself pick up the needles anymore. But this is what I mean by we have these hobbies we love, and sometimes we gatekeep them, and other times we just pour out all our information like we're a funnel. We get in, we pour out. And it's been 30 minutes, so if you have a sip to drink, please hydrate. Stretch yourself if you're crocheting. If you're listening in the background and you are working diligently, still hydrate. Get your drink on. So yeah, for me, this is kind of my virtual teaching space for this hobby. Now, we know that my daytime income earning career is teaching children developmentally, and I'm excited about that part of my life. But I'm especially excited about this space. And Kim said, taught my cousin loom knitting and a friend's daughter how to make paper beads. Ooh. And I can't loom knit. I think in all of my acquisitions I may still have. Remember those peg looms that you had? Some were like oval, some were round. I had those. I don't think I have them anymore. But I absolutely never used them. I tried. It didn't hit for me. So I set it aside and I said, maybe if ever I could not crochet, that I would pick it up. And Nana Michelle said, yes, I taught my granddaughter to crochet when she was 5, and she's 13 now and loves to crochet amis. I do not, LOL. LOL indeed. I cannot with the amis. I think they're gorgeous. I will watch people make them because I find them fascinating. But there's no way on this earth I am going to do an ami. I'm just not. You could challenge me and say, I will give you $1 million. Your money was safe in your pocket if you're looking at me to make an army. It's not happening. I just can't. I don't want to. And Cherry said, try to teach my niece and great niece, but it didn't really stick. Don't say that. You don't know, because who knows? At some point, they'll come back to it. There are lots of things that I kind of saw learning early on and walked away from it. And then 20, 30 years later, all of a sudden, I'm like, oh, I want to learn to do da da da. And then I remember I have the basic understanding of it. Like, I remember being 8 or 9 years old and learning how to make a chain just using my fingers, no hook. And I didn't know that that was the beginning of my journey in the crochet. No clue. But there I was, 8, maybe 9, and just playing with this yarn and having a good time with it, making these extremely extravagantly long chains for no purpose, because then I'd frog them all out. But I loved doing it then, and now chaining is the very foundation of what we do with this journey of crochet today. Hey, Angela, welcome in. Glad to have you here. Hope you got your drink. Of course, you know we have our trivia. So, yeah, there are things that have been poured into us very early in life, and we have seemingly abandoned it, but then we come back to it. So, don't hold out hope. It could change. Now, I will say this. I tried to teach a very, very dear friend of mine how to crochet. And I didn't so much try to teach her as I guided her towards places and spaces that I thought could be very helpful to her learning. She didn't learn it. Instead, she passed on the passion for it to her daughter, and her daughter, who lives in a different state, is now a prolific crocheter. Cherry said, I never made a wearable until 6 years ago. Really? I was strictly a blanket crocheter. I did not make my first wearable until probably 5 years after I started crocheting. So I think my son was maybe 5 or 6. And by wearable, I'm talking just it was a rectangle that I wrapped around myself as a poncho. But I liked the openness of it because I always needed to be able to get in and out of it. I am one of those people who, when I get in the car, I cannot have on a coat. So I needed something that I could wear in and out of a building or in and out of the house. But I needed to be able to kick that thing off immediately when I got in the car. So that's what I mean by a wearable. That's as close as I came. And basically, still, it was a blanket. My first real wearable was a poncho pattern from a designer off of YouTube. And I remember having to sit there with my notes and my papers and write this out as a written pattern, because I am not the kind of person who can learn from a visual tutorial. I don't know what's going on with my brain, but I see colors. I start looking at the background. I get lost in the sauce and I cannot stick with what they're telling me to do. And then because they say, do this until the end of the row or do this to the end of the round. And honestly, the moment that they passed on and moved on to something else, I'm out. I get lost. Cherry said, 40 plus years of blankets and an occasional hat. I didn't make my first hat until maybe 8, 9 years ago. Now I made, again, ponchos. I think mostly ponchos, where it was just the granny squares that I, would stitch together. I think mattress seaming. And then I would border it to bring the length that I wanted. But that was it. Yeah, Kim, that was my thought. Oh, wow, Cherry. Yeah. We do what we do. We get in our lanes and we stay there. Like, I will forever be a blanket girly. I love, love, love making blankets. It's fun. Whether I'm doing one that is all one piece or I'm doing motifs that I assemble. I love blankets. They're functional. You can, fold them in half and do all kinds of things with them. But this year, because last year I spent so many different ideations of, oh, I would love to make this, or I would love to see that, or whatever. I decided this year you are going to be accountable to some of these books you've bought. You're going to start making some wearables. So I did. And this is my year of the wearable. Now, where will I be in December when it comes to wearables? Will I still want to make more? I don't know. I'm not going to hold myself to any particular rules on that. But right now, I am in my wearables era and I am honestly loving it. I'm loving the ability to construct and craft something that I can put on my body and walk out in public and someone can go, oh my God, did you make that? And not because I'm looking for the attention, but because in a way it is my display of my artistry. It's also my defense when people say, are you buying more yarn? Yes, and this is why. So that's my joy and excitement about it. And Kim said, I started out with ponchos and went straight into tops and sweaters. Blankets are not my favorite, but I do enjoy making them for gifts and charity projects, right? Different people have different lanes that they're in, and for me, it's the blanket. And Sherry said, now I rarely make blankets, but I love making fancy shawls and wraps. Oh my goodness. See, I make shawls mostly for one or two people who always ask me for one. And I've made one wrap that I did not get to keep. Sherry said, and of course, Amis. That is not I love it. I love it, but that just, no, I can't. And Angela is getting breakfast done. I love it. I love it. Angela, make sure you're hydrating while you are cooking. It is so important to do that. Now, are we ready for another trivia question? Let's move into weekend aesthetics and cozy habits. And my question is this. What is the best local spot in your town to go to when you just need to clear your head? Whether you take a craft project with you or not, where is that one space that is like your woo-sa spot? And I'm trying to think. Honestly, because I don't like leaving my house, it's my room. If I go to my room and I genuinely need to get away from everything and everyone, I lock the door because I don't often lock my bedroom door. In fact, maybe 30 minutes before we started this live, I'm sitting here at my desk and I'm trying to do my mental checks to make sure I have everything done. I remember to wipe off my camera. And as I'm doing this, I hear the door open. And I'm like, no. So my daughter comes in, she looks at me and we make eye contact and she's like, oh my goodness, I hope she's not live. And I just pause and give her the moment to have that panic attack. And then I'm like, you're fine. It's okay. But it's a reminder to her, knock. It's okay. But just knock first. And she doesn't. She won't. So LOL, my bedroom. Exactly. And Kim said her back porch. I love that. I think, I don't know. I try to remember where the spaces are for other people. My youngest, it definitely is his room. That is his leave me alone. I am checking out. I don't want to talk to you. I don't want you to bother me. Don't even knock on my door. And if he really doesn't want to be bothered, goes to his room and then he'll put his headphones on. And there are times he can be in the dining room with headphones on and can't hear you. And if he's zoned in on what he's doing, whether he's writing, he's drawing, he's reading, whatever, the whole world can shift around him. He has no clue. Zero. I don't know if that's a part of the challenges that he deals with on a day-to-day basis, or if that's just the blessing of being able to zone in and lock in on what you're doing. But that young man can shut the world out. And I'm laughing because I remember being a very young adult and going over to my parents' house, and my father would love to watch ESPN. Get on a sofa, he's watching sports, and I'm in the chair near the door, and I'm sitting there, eyes wide open. And one of his friends comes in, and I hear his voice say, "Oh," and he's talking to me, but he's not said my name. And he keeps talking, and I heard my dad say, "She's asleep." And he goes, "No, she's not. Her eyes are open." Da, 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 da. And I guess at some point he asked me a question. I didn't answer. So he says, "Michelle." And I blinked twice, and I said, "Yes." He goes, "You didn't answer my question." I said, "When were you talking to me?" He goes, "I've been talking to you for 20 minutes. I heard nothing. I was asleep." Nana Michelle said, "My whole house is my getaway, but I live by myself, LOL. But walks are nice to refresh." I love that. Now, there is a road not too far from my P.O. box when I go over there that is very park-like. And I will drive that length sometimes if I need just breathing away from anything I have access to jump into a project with or jump into a book with. I can turn on music and just go for a ride. And what I love about this particular space is it's my dream space. And I'm not that person that can let other people drive me to start. I'm an Aries. I'm a control monster. I must be in control. The only person in my car with the designated seat is me. Everybody get in where you fit in. This is what we do. But I always want to be alone on that particular road because it's like the air, the breeze, the trees, the landscape of it all feels very calming. And there are moments that I'm in my room that this is the most zen-like space. But in the back of my mind, there's always, you should be working on this project, or you should be editing this video, or forgive me, you should be catching up on so-and-so's videos because you haven't watched them all week, things like that. And there's an undercurrent of pressure, even in the calmness that is my room. So I try to be careful with that. Angela said, "I put the 4 granny squares together and working around the 4 granny." Yay! I love that, Angela. I think that is awesome. We will have a picture when you're done, I hope. I'd love to see. So, yeah, this is my calm getaway space in a controlled environment. But if I need movement, then my drive is my space. And either way, I'm gonna have music pretty much wherever I go, which is funny because I cannot sing, nor can I play an instrument. Ooh, I'm sorry. What does your favorite go-to mug look like? Is it chipped vintage, giant handmade ceramic, or sleek and modern? I like that question. What is your go-to mug? Whether it's for coffee, tea, water, a smoothie, whatever your beverage of choice at that moment. What is your go-to mug look like? Because for me, that changes based on what I'm having. And I'm going to put this down for just a second and just show you the mugs of the day. Now, some of you who have been with me through my marathon sessions have seen my mega mug, but these are my everyday mugs. coffee mug, water mug. We have them both. And yeah, I'm going to set that down for a second. And while you guys are putting your answers in for what your go-to mug looks like, I'm going to grab my water. I'm sorry. I hate stretching in front of you like that. And preparing it into this mug. Because I grabbed it after it was washed and put back together. But yeah, we have to assemble. And this was a gift. And mine says, someone with autism makes me smile. And that is very, very true. This was a gift from one of my former daycare parents. And I saw a comment come up. Give me just a second to get to it. And I think I've shared with you guys that whenever we're doing our live stream sessions, one of the things that I always have in front of me, or at least I try to always have in front of me, is a boppy, because it doubles as a table for me. So not only do I have the comfort of keeping my elbows at just the right height if I want to crochet, or we all know I talk with my hands, so you can see my hands, or try to make sure my hands are in view. But it also acts as a space to keep me reasonably distant from my camera. And Cherry said, my neon pink 40-ounce broom mate filled with coffee. Ooh. See, don't get me to buying another cup. My kids will probably scream. And Nana Michelle says it depends on what I'm drinking. I love my Stanley cups. And not just because they're a fad thing. The first Stanley cup I got, I'm trying to remember. I think it was this one, the light pink one. It was gifted to me because I won a contest, and the person who had the contest reached out to me and said, please pick the mug that you want, and I will have it direct shipped to you from the Stanley manufacturer. I was like, oh, how cool. So I sent the information, explained that I wanted the rose gold one. They sent me this pale pink one, which was not what I wanted, but I did not complain and she asked, after you receive it, please share a picture. So I shared a picture of the cup. She reached out and said, that was not the cup you wanted. You listed you wanted this one. Are you happy with it? And I said, of course, it does what it's supposed to do. She said, okay. Literally a week later, the cup that I actually wanted came, and I said, well, can I pay it forward and sponsor your next giveaway of this cup? And she said, absolutely not. I always want you to know how much I value you as a friend and as a supporter of what I do. So now you have two. So I have two, but I also have a third Stanley, which is the flip top Stanley. And it's only, I think it's 30 ounces instead of 40, but that's what usually sits on my nightstand so that I have water to sip through the night. And Cherry said, I love them because they are completely leak proof and I am always spilling things. Now, the Stanley cups, that is often a problem, that if you knock them over, they will spill. But let me see if I can do this. I am going to carefully disassemble this just a little bit and show you. There is an insert that I add right here. And then on the very bottom is like a stopper that basically makes it an airtight seal. And then I normally have, one second, I have to show you on my water cup. It is on that one. I have a straw cover, which means when I place it on, because I didn't do that with, it yet, but I need to. 1 second, I hear discussion. This is my little straw topper, and he's a little bear, but I also have a boot on the bottom because I'm always banging it, and eventually over time you will chip the paint on them. So there's that. And then of course I have stickers on them, and both of them are crochet related, because what am I doing all day when I'm not working on my day-to-day income earning job? I'm crocheting. And yeah, the biggest struggle I had in the very beginning was the spills that I would make. I'd set the cup on the floor, and either one of my daycare clients would knock it over, or I would knock it over. If I was sitting in the rocking chair, I'd bump it and it'd flip over. If I'm in my recliner, the moment I open the leg part, then boom, there goes the cup. So I was always cleaning up a mess, and it was team too much. And Nana Michelle says, my pink Awala cup, actually named Crochet Queen on Amazon for water and ice and tea, either my Nana cup or OMG, my mother was right about everything if drinking hot tea or coffee. I love that. Now, my elder child is an Awala fan. I don't have any of those cups. And to be very honest with you, I'm probably not going to buy another cup for a good foreseeable future. Now, my ceramic mugs, I have quite a lot of these, and I need to pare down. Will I? Probably not. But this one says it's a good day to crochet. I love my little ceramic cups. The problem is they don't hold heat very well, and they're not big enough. That literally is, I need to take my medicine and I need something quick to drink. That's all. It doesn't hold enough coffee for me to really enjoy it. It's perfect at the end of the night if I just need a cup of tea to kind of center me, and again, to take the night meds so I can get ready for bed. But I'm going to have the Stanley bottle next to the bed so that I can have water through the night. And Cherry said, I have the Brumate era. If you turn the clock, you can hold them upside down and they won't leak it. Oh, ooh. See, stop it. You're going to have me buying things, and I am only allowed to buy whatever I want. Excuse me. I don't know. I don't want to allow myself to buy another cup, because even as I'm talking to you, this is sitting on my desk. And this was, I think I don't even know how many. Oh, it's a 16 ounce. It's a 16 ounce that I got when I went to Starbucks. There was a situation that occurred. We won't get into the details of it, but part of the way that the manager wanted to resolve the issue was to give me a free cup. And I didn't even want the cup. I was like, I'm fine. And they were like, no, please take this with our compliments. Thank you for bringing this to our attention. Da, da, da. So I ended up with a new cup. And occasionally I remember to use it. On to questions again. And we are back to creative mind and hobby life. Do you prefer shiny, glossy textures or matte, earthy tones? Which one is your preference? Because for me, it's a bit of both. I think you can have a shiny earth tone look. For example, if you're working with a mercerized cotton, it's going to have a bit of a sheen to it. If you do it in a chocolate or a rich, almost almondish color, it's going to be gorgeous. A bit of both, yes. But what say you? What do you prefer? I'm sorry. And Cherry's laughing. LOL. I understand. I'm addicted to them. I don't. Was I ever addicted to any one particular type of cup? Yes, Tervis. Tervis. I have so many Tervis cups that it's embarrassing because I almost never use them. And Cherry said, definitely both. See, I'm not the only person. There is something about the shiny pop of a high contrast look, such as shiny and earth tones, neutrals. You can have a shiny neutral. Come on, let's do those things. Matte earthy tones for sure. Yes, I love that too. I am into a shinier look right now, but as a general rule, my color palette leans towards neutral, except for my burgundy. Of course, my burgundy. This is my pop of color. But if you were to look at my closet, most of my wearing will lean in either this colorway, because I buy a lot of it now, or blacks, white, blue. Those are my colors. I'm either wearing something with black in it, something with white. I will go bold and wear blue. I have, again, maybe two, no more than three pieces of pink. And that's my favorite color. I love pink. I don't wear it, but I love it. Hey, Zach, welcome in and happy Saturday to you. Cherry said, the wrap I'm making is in autumn colors and mercerized cotton. See, I like autumn colors to look at. I don't often buy them or use them. And Nana Michelle said both for sure. Exactly. I want to challenge myself to try to be more autumn approachable. And by autumn approachable, I mean using oranges, because I don't wear orange. I don't look very good in orange. And it's just not a color I reach for to use, but I love the look of it. So I really want, and guys, kind of hold me to this as we move into our fall elements, because it'll have to be something I give away because I won't keep it. But I want to make something with orange in it. So will you guys keep me accountable to that I do something with the color orange? I need that. I need to do that. And I'm about to have to reset our music for just a second because I saw the flash on my television, which means somebody just went out the door or somebody just came on the porch. Yes, I'm expecting about 1,200 different Amazon deliveries today, which is why I'm looking at it like, I don't know which it was, but I'm assuming that someone just left. Zach said, I look like a pumpkin when I wear orange. I look ill. I look like I'm not feeling well when I wear orange. But that's because the main color for orange will be yellow. And yellow makes me look sick. So that's why orange doesn't typically work for me. Hey there, Deborah. Good morning. Just got to work. Missed the first hour as I overslept this morning. I hope that it didn't make you late for work. I'm not worried about me. I'm worried about you. The colors I love most are the colors of the ocean, blues, grays, and tans. I love that. Ooh, which means there is a puzzle color, and I can't think of what it is, but when I think of it, I will tell it to you, or I will leave a message on my community post directed at you. There's a puzzle colorway, Premier Puzzle, that is definitely very you. I can't wear yellow. I look like I have jaundice. This is my issue. I literally look ill. And being a child born in and raised in the 70s and 80s, yellow was a dominant color in a lot of the fashion of that era. And I never looked good in any of it. Zach said, I like reds and blues. I love reds and blues, and I do those colors very, very well. The jewel tones, the dark, bold I walk in the room and I command the scene colors. That's me. Soft and gentle and quiet. Not I. Not I. As I get older and my hair starts to have more gray and silver to it, and it's getting there. She's getting there. And as that happens, the softer color palette works, but it doesn't work well because again, I'm me. So soft colors don't honestly speak to who I am as a person. And Silas said, I love the different shades of green. I love green, but I struggle with green because depending on the hue of green, it leans into that yellow wall. And I can't pull it off. I want to, but I can't. Like right now, right in front of me is a dishcloth that has the most beautiful waves of color. But if you set it next to me, it doesn't look that great because these yellows right here make me look weird. Now pull it away and I'm perfectly fine. Put that in front of me and I'm not so great. But that's another thing about knowing what colors look really good on you and what colors aren't so great. Like I said, my favorite color is pink. I don't look the best in all pinks. This looks bad. This is not good. But a richer, darker pink, I'm fine with. Tarot Destroyer. I have a Brumate era. If you, okay, did I miss that or did I read that? I'm confused. I thought I read that. Tarot Destroyer, please forgive me. You probably wrote that and I read it and then I got confused again. Forgive me. And Tarot Destroyer said, my whole house is my getaway. I live by myself. But talks are nice to refresh. I love that. I love that. So it's a little after 10 o'clock. Do me a favor, guys, if you haven't already done so. 1, please like the live so that the YouTube algorithm pushes this further out to more of our besties. And two, make sure you're hydrating, guys. It's the top of the hour. This is the perfect time for you to grab your cup and sip if you got them. And then I'm going to ask us another question. But I finished my coffee, so I'm on to my water. And thank us for having that. So good. Needed that. That needs another flavor of something. My water is always flavored, by the way, guys. Hey, Janet, welcome in. I'm olive complected. I'm made for the 70s colors, the mustards, olives, rust, and chocolate. I love it. I am not. I am definitely the person whose undertone is very much a red undertone. And Cherry agrees that the Brumate cups are the best. Zach said, I was lazy this morning. I just woke up at 10:30. You woke up when you were supposed to wake up. That's not lazy. That's appropriate. I'm trying to think. What time did I get up this morning? I didn't get up till 6, which for me is late. But even though I was up, I didn't get out the bed right away because I was being lazy. I needed the moment to relax and just kind of slow myself down a bit. And it's often good that you listen to when you can, listen to what your body needs and what's appropriate for you to get up with. And Silas says, I often use a color wheel when choosing colors for a project. Very smart. It helps to find colors that will accent each other well. I do a bit of both. I will go to the internet and grab a color wheel and see if colors are aligned with one another. But more often than not, and I don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing, but it's what I've done. And this is what I will probably continue to do. I will literally lay colors side by side and see, do they visually play well for me? If they play well for me, I very seldom feel like they won't play well for the person I'm gifting them to. So I'm trying to think, have I ever done it and was like, oh, this is horrible? No, but I have bought variegated yarns that when they're spun together or in their skein or their cake or whatever it is they're in, they look perfect. I'm like, oh, that's going to be gorgeous. And then I put hook to yarn and I'm making the project and I'm not liking it. It didn't mean I didn't like the yarn, but it may mean that the series of stitches that I'm using doesn't let that color show itself in its true beauty. And I'm thinking of a perfect example, the Red Heart Super Saver color Mirage. Gorgeous. It has that blue, and I'm looking at it right now. It has a blue, a cream, and like a tan in it. Gorgeous. If you ever want to see a nightmare, make that in the moss stitch. I was doing this and was almost done with this blanket. When I tell you I frogged 1, 2, 3.5 10-ounce cakes of this yarn back to nothing, because the more I looked at it, the more I was like, I don't like this. I love the yarn. I don't like the way it worked up as a moss stitch item. Will it be pretty as something else? I don't know. I haven't. It's in a zippered bag telling me to get away from me for a while. And Zach said, I have to say, I will never wear the color purple. Really? See, I like the color purple, but of course I would, because as someone with a red undertone who wears blue well, blue and red is purple. So I love purple and it looks really, really good on me. Now, lavender and lilac, not so much. They're a little too light for me, but if I wear them with other things, then I can get away with them easily. So it all depends on what color your body reads. Are you a warm color? Are you a cool color? Do you lean towards colors that are of nature? Do you lean towards jewel colors? Knowing all of those color plays allows you not only to pick things that work well with how you present, how you look, but it sometimes honestly will play into how you feel. For example, if I am having a public presentation somewhere and I feel intimidated, because let's say I'm on a talk panel with 10 doctors. Well, I don't have a degree as a doctor. I don't have a degree. I'm not gonna hold you. I don't have a degree. But I know what I know, and I know it very, very well. That being the case, those are the days you're going to see me wear navy or black. Now I'll hit it with a pop of color, but I wear very, very serious colors on those days because I want to be taken seriously. But as a general rule, if I'm speaking at a parent meeting, I'm going to wear something that I'm comfortable in. So I might wear a natural color like a beige or a brown or my burgundy. I'm just saying, I have fun with color. Janet says, purple is my favorite color, but it makes me look green. Sometimes I wear it anyway. See? That's why I have probably 3 pink things in my wardrobe right now, because I love pink. Love it. I just don't love to wear it because, again, I don't look that great in it. And I can wear white. One, I can't stay clean to save my life. So me wearing white is a risk. It's a major risk. And perfect example, I think last week, because days fade into me at some point. But last week I put on a white dress, just a summer dress, something fun to wear. I stayed clean for about 15 minutes. Had to take it off, had to get out of it because I couldn't stay clean. And what did I get on it? I don't remember. But it didn't take me long to get dirty because I'm like a little kid. Put me in white and watch me get dirty. It's just dirt says, oh, she's wearing white. And it gets all over me. It's a mess. It's a whole thing. So I don't remember what I ended up wearing. Oh, yes, I do. I ended up wearing, the base of the dress was white, but it had a paisley print and blue. So, yeah, that is me in colors. We need another question. So let's do that. Lighthearted debates and pop culture vibe checks. Now I'm gonna be careful and pre-read these questions because I haven't read them all. This isn't a question. I'm gonna throw this at you guys. You can answer or not, because I understand if you don't. Settling the ultimate debate. This is not the ultimate debate. Is a hot dog technically a sandwich? That is not a question. That is just a why. First of all, do you even eat hot dogs? And second of all, if you do, congratulations. I do too. Is it a sandwich? It's a hot dog. Bun or no bun. Not my business. I don't care how you do that. You do you. Oh, okay. See, I am exempt from this, and some of you may be as well, but I do like this question. Which 90s or 2000 cartoon theme song is permanently unerasable from your brain? Now, me, I am going to throw in the caveat that what 70s child theme song or song from a cartoon or television show you watch regularly is burned into the soul of your brain. And I say 70s, but I also mean 80s, because as a person above a certain age level, I just can't, I don't even remember 90s and 2000 cartoons. I probably endured them, but I don't remember them. And Nana Michelle said, I'm the same way with white. I'm glad to know I'm not the only person who does not know how to stay clean. I remember telling my children, now remember, don't get dirty because we're headed out the door at this amount of time and I don't want to have to change your clothes. I can't tell you how many times I've had a pile of clothes on the foot of my bed because I had to change clothes 2 or 3 times before I went out the door. Just saying. Cherry said, the Jetsons or the Flintstones. See, my brain immediately goes to Schoolhouse Rock. I'm just saying. The moment I read that question, I heard, I heard Zero is my hero. Just that was like bing, because I have no issue with the fact that different people have different songs that resonate with them. For me, it was always Schoolhouse Rock. It was always Schoolhouse Rock. And this question isn't on here, but I want to ask it because it's something that I'd love to know. If you could pick a television program from the past, what television program would you redo today? I'm sorry, Nana Michelle got me there. Yes. And see, I'm reading it as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, but that's not the way it's done. And out of a respect for your ears, I am not going to sing this song. But this is a PBS Sesame Street song. And it was the bomb song as a kid. Loved it. And Janet said, Inspector Gadget. Now, I can hear that in my head. And I can't, Rockapella from Carmen Sandiego's game show on PBS. Those guys, I loved their theme song for Carmen Sandiego. So I guess that is 90s. I don't know, but loved it just the same. But I loved Carmen Sandiego. So, and so much so that I think early 2000s in a cereal game, there was a CD-ROM of the game Carmen Sandiego. And or maybe I bought it. I don't remember what the circumstance, but we had this game. And at this point, computers are relatively new, at least home computers. So I bought it for my daughter because I wanted her to work on, geography as an alternate way to learn. Yeah, I played it, and in our household, I'm the only person who ever found Carmen Sandiego. So I started it over twice. She never finished it. We won't talk about how much of a nerd I truly am, but yes, there is that. Zach said the big comfy couch theme gets stuck in my head a lot. I know what that is, but I never watched it. Zach, I tell you all the time, I'm old enough to be your mother. And that's proof. That is proof. And that's not a bad thing. I don't mind being older than anyone, but I find it comical how so many different things that are familiar to me are completely foreign to some of you. And some of you find things that are just easy for you to pull like this. And I've either never seen, never heard of, or I've seen it and I still don't know what it is. Just saying. Nana Michelle said, yes, Sesame Street Pinball, exactly. Couldn't think of the name, just heard it and seen it in my head. Right, I know. And Silas said, I love white, but I'm scared to wear it for reasons you just mentioned. I recently went to a wedding and wore all white and was surprised I didn't get anything dirty. I had the nerve to drink red punch also. Oh, now that's bold. That is bold. I could not. I would be drinking water all day. And Deborah said, none. Any remakes that were already remade were totally bad to me, i.e., MacGyver, Equalizer, Hawaii 5-0. Boom. I respect that. I'm not opposed to that. Nana Michelle said, now I have Inspector Gadget in my head. I'm sorry. Some of you are dealing with earworms that you won't be able to get rid of for days. I apologize. Cherry said, VeggieTales theme song. I still have trauma with the VeggieTales theme song. And Zach said, the other my dad mentioned was Fraggle Rock. I was like that. What is that? Fraggle Rock. Okay, now see, I totally know what Fraggle Rock is, but that goes into that ecosystem that was Jim Henson. Loved it. Oh my God. See, Nana Michelle and I must be very close in age because she said, oh my God, I loved Fraggle Rock and dinosaurs. Not the baby. I loved that stupid character. Okay, don't get me started, you guys. You get me amped up and we're going to be in trouble. I'm going to be here for too long. We're supposed to finish in about 35 minutes, approximately 35, 40 minutes. And Nana Michelle said, I would have a mess before I even left the house if wearing white. Exactly. I'm telling you, I love like people who have those all white parties. I think they're amazing. Please don't invite me. A, I'm not coming because it's a party. But B, because I'd have to wear white and I can't. Imagine having to have a change of clothes in your car so you can change just to walk in. That would be my experience. And Zach said, Dad explained it to me too. I was just like, huh? Sounds weird. A lot of things sound weird, but I'm telling you, these are our shows as young adults and adults. I mean, Zach, you really want your dad to explain something weird to you? Ask him to explain max headroom. That's all I'm going to say. Cherry said, we must all be the same age. We might be. And Nana Michelle said, I'll be 57 in July. Not the mama, not the mama. Yes, yes. Nana Michelle and I are very, very close in age. I'm a year younger. I just turned 56 and she turns 57 in July. Okay, see. And Cherry, I still think you're a baby. In my mind, you will forever be a baby. Okay? It is what it is. Fight me in the comments, please. But it doesn't matter what your age is. I love the joy that each and every one of you is bringing to this chat today and always. You guys always make this so much fun. And I'm telling you, I get messages and emails from people who say, I don't understand why you go live if this is something that gives you such anxiety. I have to now say it used to. It doesn't anymore. I start looking forward to and thinking about our live streams long before I ever sit down to create this space for us. I'm getting excited about the live streams literally the day after we finish the previous ones. And Cherry, I refuse to believe you're older than me. I just refuse it. I reject that. That's an alternate reality that I can't subscribe to. She said I was 57 in May. Wow. Zach says, see, I'm only going to be 32 in July. Younger than my eldest. Janet said you're all babies, LOL. Janet, just because you're 15 does not, you're lucky we let you in the room. Because you're the baby. Kitty said, I'm 62. See? We're all in a similar sphere, overlapping ever so slightly here or there. But we all have one beautiful thing in common, and that is that we love our fiber arts. Even those who are in the audience or may watch this on replay and say, I don't do this. Yes, you do. Even if you watch it like it's a soap opera, because it can be dramatic. You watch. We know. We love you for it. We thank you for it. But oh my goodness. Let's get back to our trivia, because you all know I can get on a tangent and I'll be there for 12 years. Leave me as I were. But I didn't answer the question of, was there a television show I would remake? I think it would probably be Schoolhouse Rock. I would update some of the information to, especially in the historical spaces, adding new things and information about more recent presidents that we've had, and just law changes and things like that. Those are things I think it is a concept hard to teach or hard for kids to retain the information. So adding musical accompaniment to help those facts stay in their head is a good idea. And the ABC after school special. I would love to see a newer version of that. And maybe the Disney, I forgot what it was called. Was it the Magic Kingdom show that came on NBC Sundays at 6 p.m.? And Zach said, forgive me, I'm sorry, my sinuses are talking too loud. I didn't appreciate that. Zach, my oldest was 32 in January, but I'm old enough to be my niece's mom, and she would be 38 next week. Oh, how cool! I'm only laughing because there is a reasonable gap between the ages of my children, and there was a little bit more of a gap between myself and my youngest brother. I'm 12 years older than my brother. But you have to understand that for me, as a tween and a teen, I looked a lot older than I was. So that was a challenge when I would have my younger brother with me. And some people would look at me like, what is she doing with a kid so young? It wasn't my kid, it was my brother. Try explaining that to people. And Nana Michelle said, my oldest turned 34 in January. I don't feel old until I say that out loud. My eldest is 35 and turns 36 this August. That's a lot. And Cherry said, I loved after school specials, and Wild Kingdom was awesome. It was. It absolutely was. Dana Brown. I want to say there was a Dana Brown coffee at one point too. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think there was a Dana Brown coffee. All I know is that Dana Brown was one of the pioneer philanthropists for the St. Louis Zoo. So, St. Louis trivia. Cherry said, I'm the baby of the family. My sister was 10 years older than me. I am the eldest and only girl. So that is an interesting experience because I'm the eldest. I'm the Aries. My spirit animal is a rhino. I had no choice but to be a leader, a boss, and be me. This is how you get what you got with me. I apologize if it wasn't what you were looking for. Here you go. I was born March 21st, which is 3, 2, 1. The explosion happened in 1970. So, if you ever understand why I am the personality that I am, understand when I was born. Understand that I was born at a pivotal time in this country, and understand that as the eldest girl, the only girl, and having the responsibility at a time when it was okay to leave your 6-year-old home alone, or 7-year-old at home alone in charge of their 5-year-old sibling. We grew up in a different time, in a different era. And yeah, it makes us who we are, but it especially made me be the person that I am. I hope it's okay. But even if it's not, it's okay. It's okay. And Zach, wait a minute, Zach said something. Oh, he said be right back. Okay. Ooh. Now this is a question because you guys know I love to cook, and I've shared this with you. What is your most controversial food opinion? Like pineapple on a pizza or cilantro tasting like soap? I am going to reserve my comment for just a moment because you know it is what it is. I won't say my opinion of certain things just yet. Some of you kind of know the things I like and I don't like. But what's your controversial food opinion? What's the one thing you think this belongs here or this belongs nowhere? Share with me in the comments. And because it's 29 minutes of the hour, almost 30 minutes, grab your cup, grab your sip, get it in. Let's hydrate, people, please, and thank you. And once again, I remember this needs something. And I know I have an extra flavor something somewhere nearby that needs something. It's a little, it needs some flavor. Give me just a second. I see you guys populating the chat, but I am only so tall and my desk is a little farther away than it should be. So we're going to add a little flavor to that. And Nana Michelle said, yes, I was left home alone watching my little brother, who was 6 years younger than me, all the time. Right? I was in first grade, and for one solid week, my grandfather came and would walk me home. 1 week. After that 1 week, I was on my own. I came home, was allowed to, I had my own key, let myself in the house. I could come in, go to the bathroom, and then immediately had to go to the television, where the antenna with the rabbit ears sat, and in the middle of that antenna was a postcard that had my mother's work telephone number. Grab the phone, call my mom, say I'm home. If there was anything she needed to know before she got home, I had to share that. I was allowed to have a snack, and then I could turn on the television. Oh, that's so much better. Sort of. It's a little too bitter. I'll fix it. And Cherry said, I can't do feta cheese. And Deborah said, I love food, but no cilantro and super hot peppers. Ooh. Now, I like cilantro, which is strange, but I love feta cheese. I don't like what is that? They call it a cheese, but I don't call it a cheese. I call it crap. I can see it, and I detest it so much I try to erase it from my mind. What was that? I just saw something. I'm confused. I don't know what that was I saw, but thank you, Silas. Okay, what is that? You sent me a gift. How sweet of you. Thank you. And it said Flow State. I am sending you the biggest hug. Thank you so much. I've never seen that before, so I'm so honored. Okay, and Jenna said, back in the days when we were the remote, I promise you, not only was I the remote, I remember getting in trouble one night and getting sent to bed early. And because the television, there was no remote, it was your kids got up and changed the station. My mother wanted the television station changed. So she's mad at me, but tells me to get up and come change the station. So I changed the station. And certain stations, you had to fix the antenna so that you could see the picture. I spent 15 minutes fixing the picture. And Deborah said, cilantro equals soap for me. I love all kinds of cheeses, including blue cheese. I don't like blue cheese either. But it's that white cheese that sometimes they put pineapple on. I can't think of it. Cottage cheese. Oh, I detest that stuff. I detest it. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't like it. Don't like it at all. It does not serve to, if you put that on a buffet, I'm eating nothing. And Jenna said, I don't like garbanzo beans, but I love hummus. I like garbanzo beans in this one thing my daughter makes, and I can't think of what it is. It's super popular, but I love it in that. And as a general rule, I don't use garbanzo beans. She does. And I like this, whatever it is. And I can't remember what it is. Deborah said, I love cottage cheese. I do not. I had a daycare client that lived for cottage cheese. So I'd have to buy it. And I promise you, I was so grateful that she could feed herself, because I would put it in a bowl and give her utensils and have to leave the room as she ate it, because even the sound of it, that wet sound, just drove me out of my head. I couldn't take it. No. And Zach said, cottage cheese, I can't do, reminds me of chunky milk. See, Zach, I totally feel you there. Oh, no. No, I cannot. And like I said, I don't like blue cheese. I don't like the smell of it. I don't like the taste of it. And we have different salad dressing choices in my refrigerator, even as we speak. There are so many times that I may be preparing dinner at the table, and I'll ask my son, hey, do me a favor, grab a salad dressing for me. And he will invariably grab whatever's in front. If it's blue cheese, he will bring it to me, and I have to remember, read the bottle before you go pouring this, because you'll never be able to eat it. Oh my goodness. And I will never eat sardines. I love sardines. In fact, that is what I am having for lunch today. And Silas said, I used to change the channel while my grandpa was asleep, and he'd wake up immediately and ask why I changed. That was my dad. My dad could be snoring sleep while a sports was on, even golf. And mind you, my father was not a golf fan, but the moment, and I was so slick about it, I would turn the sound down little by little, like, maybe 1 or 2 clicks, until it was down to like 3. And then I switched the station. The moment that I switched the station, I hit mute. So he didn't even hear what was on. Back could be to the television, so he's not even looking at it. Put that television back on my station. Ah! So yeah, I would lose it because my dad heard everything. Cherry said, we all love cottage cheese. My boy so much that I have to buy separate cartons for everyone. And we write our names on the carton. Otherwise, my kids will eat it all and I won't get any. You can have it all. You can have all of mine. All of mine. Not I. I don't know if my daughter eats it. I don't think my son eats it. I also don't know. But there is something that my son loves that I'm still baffled by. And I can't remember what it is. But he'll ask for it soon. And when he does, I'll be like, okay. Like, he likes cranberry juice. I do not. I don't. And I know I'm about to sip this and go, this needs something. I know I am. Yeah, I said it's too bitter. But I'll live with it. Hey, Niecy. Thank you. Love the hugs. Thank you for being with us today and appreciate you stopping by. Oh, my goodness. Ha-ha. What is your favorite classic arcade game or retro video game? And this is going to sound silly. I didn't play very many arcade games as a kid. I didn't really like them. The only game that I was stuck on, if you could say stuck on, I liked Duck Hunt. I played it with my brother. And the only game that I genuinely loved was Tetris, which, don't ask, actually plays in my favor today. Whenever I have to take anything over to my son's school, and he has 9,000 things, and we don't have a very big car, so I have to literally be able to stack and pack and box it all in to get ready to go and still be able to fit myself in the car. And Cherry said, my son's favorite juice is white cranberry strawberry. Cherry said Ms. Pac-Man. And Zach said Pac-Man. So yeah, Pac-Man was a very popular game. Pac-Man gave me anxiety because the premise of the game is Pac-Man is being chased by the ghost. Any game where there is a stress factor, I was usually out. And that's the premise of a lot of the retro video games, whether it was Frogger or the space alien invasion thingy. I don't know what it was. Erica said she loved Tetris too. Yes. Love it. I absolutely. And see, Silas said Pac-Man or Legend of Zelda. My brother loved Legend of Zelda. I know he loved Pac-Man, but yeah, Legend of Zelda was his thing. And I'm old enough to remember the Atari 2600. When this game was at its height of popularity, my parents gave us the choice of we could have an Atari 2600 or we could buy a Commodore 64 computer. This is how we knew who the popular child in the family was, because there were only two of us at that point. Well, I think my baby brother might have just been born. Me too. The only game I own. Okay, see, I bought a Game Boy just so I could play Tetris. And then when that thing finally died, I was kind of over Tetris. But my parents gave us 2 weeks to try to come up with the reasoning for why we wanted this versus that. I explained that I wanted the computer because we could write our own games and we could do this and we could work. We could study and we could do our homework and all these other different things. And I kept trying to explain, I don't know that I did a very good job of it, that at some point computers are going to be so important to education and so important to our futures. And who knows where the Atari 2600 will be other than maybe in a museum. We got an Atari 2600. I was opposed. Janet said, first came Pong. I remember Pong. I was unimpressed. We're watching a ball float, and there's this little cube that goes up and down, and you have to hit the ball. It was tennis on. I didn't watch tennis in human form. Mind you, I played tennis at some point, only because I needed it for this class that I would take later, not the tennis. I just needed the relationship with the coach so that I could get away with murder in his class, like falling asleep. I was strategic as a kid. Please understand that. But I didn't. I know that people loved Pong. I could never understand what the hype was. Only 2 people could play at a time. Now you might say I've got winners, and then you're up after that person. I was good with all that. I wasn't that person. And when I really give serious contemplation to the games that I enjoyed then and the games I enjoy now, my biggest competition was never the opponent, it was me. So I'm the same way even now. When you think about the games we play on our telephones, for those of us who play games on our phones, it's a competition against yourself. Cherry said, I had a 2600 and loved Pong. I don't even know if we owned Pong. Again, we got this thing for Christmas. I never played it. Like, my brother had the Miss Pac-Man game and a few other games. I never played it. I was absolutely adamant that I wanted nothing to do with this brain rot. And Cherry said, I played against the computer. See, again, we have this inner personality that says we are our biggest competition. And I think for me, at least, knowing that about me, knowing that that is a characteristic of myself, eliminated the keeping up with the Joneses factor. And I don't always find that I hear that in my inner dialogue, that I don't need to have the latest this or do the most recent that or be like whomever. And I can relate that for you guys in the element of being a content creator, especially considering next month I will have been on YouTube 2 years. When I first got started, I thought that to be in the crochet niche, I had to do certain things and behave certain ways and present certain ways. And I stripped me down to nothing. Nothing. I didn't wear makeup. I did not, go above and beyond for anything. I just came to you as the most raw person that I was. And then as I brought back the elements of me that make me happy, that speak and sing to my soul, then I felt the most real with you. And I find that this is the most relatable for our circle, our engagement and our experience. And Kitty said, I loved the solitaire card games. Only child. I understand. I understand. I liked solitaire and I loved playing war against my brother. Those were those were the only card games that I could endure. And I don't like card games. I don't know why. I've never liked them. Silas said, I still play card games too. Pity Pat is my favorite. I think I've played Pity Pat. I don't know it. I don't remember it. Let me say that. I probably played it. I don't remember it. See, Pity Pat to me, and this is not a card game, was where my father would hold his hands out like this, and you put your hands on top of his hands, and then he'd flip his hand over and pop the top of your hand. And we would sign up for this. And my father was heavy-handed. I promise you, your hands hurt when he was done. But we would do it over and over again. The goal was for you to pull your hand away before he could slap your hand. And if you got your hand away before he could hit it, then you opened up your hands and would flip to slap his hand. And you could never get him. You could. My dad was quick. Bless him, he was quick. So, wait a minute. What did I miss? Silas said, okay, yeah, that I read that. Okay, I'm sorry. Sometimes things move slower over here, so I'm thinking I missed something on my phone. Anyway, I'm not that big of a card player. I never really was. I liked Pokino because it was something I could play with my grandmother. Yes, I know it's an old game, but it was what it was. I'm not a young person. So there is that. But I was saying in relation to recognizing that the only voice I need to strengthen is mine, also allowed me to create this space in a way where I gingerly remind others how important they are to me, because they are. But I also have to set up, ground rules. Like, I have gone into live chats, and this is no shade and no negativity to anybody else's platform. You must create the space that works best for you. But I have watched content creators come into a chat and completely derail that ecosystem that content creator has created by bringing up a topic that has nothing to do with that content creator, the conversation they're currently hosting, or whatever. And sometimes they will come in and self-promote. I hate to even say this out loud, but I have been in a live stream in a different niche, but in a live stream where someone was talking about the things that they were doing in this medium that they were in. And somebody comes in and goes, oh, I'm going live in 15 minutes. And that person said, oh, well, I'm just going to shut down my live then. They had been live for 15 minutes themselves. And I'm sure they had no intention of stopping in 30 minutes, but they shut down because another person came in and announced they were going live. That was where I drew the line that if I come back to life, because at that point I was on pause, which is how I was able to watch all these other different experiences. I said, as kindly as I can, I'm going to let other content creators know that when you come into this space, you are welcome. Please understand, I want you here. I love you. But we won't be talking about what's happening on your channel. We won't be talking about the fact that you're a content creator. That is not happening here. I will love you, but I will lovingly shut the door to avoid this being a recycle repeat of another content creator's conversation, space, or experience. I just won't have it here. And I think that that's where I'm able to create the space and room for individuals who may not have a channel, or who have a channel but just need a soft place to be, free of the obligation of behaving a certain way because people will attribute it to their channel. That's just me. The other thing I've done, and I'm telling on myself, but I'm going to do this with sincerity. I have created additional accounts so that I can go into spaces and not be Michelle of YesMichelle Crochets. I'm just dot, whatever that character is. Like, it just is. It helps me be me. And Cherry said, I grew up in a huge card game family. My family is a huge card game family. I am not that good. And Zach said, I think that's rude to do that. It is rude, and I won't allow it. And Nisi said, that's what I love about you. I love this space. Nisi, I love that you love it for us all. It feels good to have us all together this way. And Deborah said, good for you. Thank you. Thank you. Nisi said, it is so relaxing here. Thank you. I'm glad. It's supposed to be relaxing. This is my calm down space. I love that about this. And Deborah said, I only want to do one channel at a time. Well, I have two that I'm actively working on. One is on a temporary pause because there's a couple of things I need to fix. And that is my music channel. But that's because I love creating an environment based on music. As you guys always know, I don't know if you can hear it. Maybe you can't. I always have music on in the background because it calms my anxiety monster. So having the outlet to create music scapes means a lot to me as a person. I know that people with certain challenges use music as a source to zone in. People use music to study by, to sleep by, to help tick time as they're working. And all of those things are important. So being able to have a place like that for me matters. So creating such an environment for myself, that goes back to being a Gen Xer. We didn't get a lot of play spaces. We had to make our play spaces. So that's why I do what I do. And Nisi said, I need to do that. Nisi, if you want to talk about it, you know how to reach me, baby. We can always talk. Zach said, I love coming here because I don't feel like y'all's judging me. There's nothing to judge, Zach. You are an amazing individual. We love you exactly as you are. And guys, we have like 7 minutes and we will have been here 2 hours. So I am going to kind of pull away for just a bit. I've got a couple of things I need to get done. I need to get started on that scarf, and I want to get it started before tonight. I need to make some firm decisions about the crochet along that we're doing tonight. And yes, I call it a crochet along because I've encouraged you, enabled you, and invited you to share with me as I am working on the gemstone poncho. We'll talk about it tonight. Guys, I will be live again tonight at 7 p.m. Central, so check your times accordingly. And we will be in the Yarn Bistro. I am so excited. Of course, if you can't make it tonight, I totally understand. By all means, please do me a favor and catch the replay. This Monday, I have a super fun video planned, filmed, and I need to do some editing, which is the other reason I need to get off live, because that video talks about how to be successful this summer with your crochet projects. I've got some tips that I think might be game changers for a lot of us as for how we construct and plan our summer crochet activities. Beyond that, of course, is going to be this Wednesday's Cozy Encyclopedia. That is going to be about the magic ring. No, I haven't filmed it yet, so yeah, I need to get to it and get it done. But I can't tell you how long it's going to be. I mean, let's be realistic. I need to do some research and some more nerdy reading before I get to filming that. So I still have that to do. A lot of what I do in the Cozy Encyclopedia, I do not just through the research of it all, but I want to look at the story behind it. I also, where I can, want to be able to give you guys the graphic symbols in the video so that if you're learning how to read graphs, if you're learning how to read patterns, all of that information is available to you as a part of that extending playlist. And yes, I do it from the left-handed version and the right-handed version, so that wherever you are in your crochet journey, whether you're left-handed, right-handed, or maybe you're learning the opposite hand of what is your dominant hand, you can go to those playlists and learn it. And to give you a little secret, just a little one, anticipate that in the month of July, I will be going on vacation. I will have pre-recorded content planned and set up for you guys, but I will not be going live that week. And I'll give you more details about that tonight. You know what? I need to make a note of that. I will take a look at, I still need to learn more about the double magic ring, but I think it could be its own video. If I can incorporate it in this video, I will, but let me write that down. And yes, I'm writing it down in real time. Okay, so again, I can't promise you, but if I can incorporate it, I absolutely will. And if I can't, it will be a standalone video of its own, so that I give it the story and the lessons that I learned about it in real time. And thank you for reminding me about that. That's exciting. And looking forward to the summer wearables tips. Happy to do so. Happy to do so. Um, there's I will say this coming Monday's video doesn't really so much touch upon summer wearables as it does summer project success. I will talk more about summer wearables tonight. So please join us tonight at 7 p.m. Central. That will be a major topic of discussion because we're literally making a wearable in real time. And what did Cherry say? I prefer the double magic ring. You guys know I'm still having to go back and research and learn that. And honestly, I had forgotten about it because I'm Michelle and I can forget. It happens. But I am actually going to make sure that I do at least read upon it, learn about it, and try to teach it to myself so that I can come back and share it with you guys during the Cozy Encyclopedia episodes. I needed this today. I genuinely needed this today. Like I said, when we first started, I started out with a little bit of a headache. I have no headache now because you guys made this experience so much fun for me. This is always such a great time for me to get to hang out with each and every one of you guys. And it means everything to me to have the place and space to be the nerd that I am and to have people endorse my bad behavior, because everybody needs somebody that does that for them. You guys do that for me. I hope in a way that I get to do that for you as well. Whew. Yes, I had to just breathe through that one because I get a little emotional with you guys because I think about the journey that got me to where I am today, and you guys play such a big role in that. It means everything to me. It really really does. I'm also I, I have a silent creative person who supports my channel and gives me tips and suggestions and strategies. And she reminded me earlier this week that I don't talk enough about my Buy Me a Coffee account. And I don't, predominantly because I don't have memberships on my channel. And she's like, you don't give your audience the opportunity to support you and the space that you create for your audience. So I am sharing with you as a reminder that I do indeed have a Buy Me a Coffee account, and you will find the link for that on my channel. And somebody, Erica last week let me know that the previous link was broken. I have corrected it and fixed it, so it has been corrected. And thank you for letting me know that. But that is a wonderful way to support the channel. Of course, I do have affiliate and associate links that you will find on the main frame of our channel as well. So if ever you're going to be shopping on Amazon, or you're treating yourself to a hook through furls, or of course, if you just want to directly support the channel, you can always go to the Buy Me a Coffee account and leave me a positive message, because I read those messages. I appreciate those messages, and I love each and every one of you. Hopefully, I will see you at 7 this evening, Central Standard Time, of course. And until I see you again, have some fun today. Be good to you. Drink your fluids. And I'll talk to you soon. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.